Yo, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today we are here with Dartmouth guard Kareem Thomas, who is a freshman and Salesianum alumni too. Kareem, how you been today?
I've been good. It's good to be back home. Long time up in New Hampshire, so it's just good to be back in Delaware. Get to spend some time with my family, my girlfriend and everything. So it's been good.
That's great. That's great. I missed you, man. I missed you a lot.
I miss you too, man.
Missed you too, man. And how has Dartmouth been so far as of the school year? How has your freshman year been?
Academically, there were some struggles at first. I think there's always a little bit of struggles. Just going from high school to college, being far from home. In my case, I was 7 hours away from home, and I decided to take a really hard class my first term. I took a Bio 11 and I had a D for most of the term in Bio 11 and I ended with a C minus. So I think that was just the hardest thing. Um, a lot of work and just trying to balance that with basketball. It was different than it was in high school. So academically, that was like pretty challenging, but I got through it. And then that was the first term. Our second term, I took a little bit easier classes, and I actually enjoyed them more. And I ended with three A minuses, so it got better as time went on.
That's good. That's good to hear. I'm not going to talk about my classes, but they've been alright. They've been solid so far for the most part. And how has just your freshman year? We gonna cut that shit out. How has your freshman year been since you've been at Dartmouth? What challenges did you have to face during the 24-25 season of basketball?
All right, I'm gonna answer this question about basketball, like athletics, since I already talked about academic challenges or hardship. I guess wasn't really that hard, but challenges. Um, Freshman year of basketball, it was really long compared to what it's been in Delaware. Delaware, you only get your 20 games. Uh, I want to say from like maybe late November to early March. And with college basketball, we started second week we got there, so like mid September. So from September to March. So a lot longer, a lot more gruesome on the body. So that was hard and just had to adjust, see the athletic trainer a little bit more, take care of your body, make sure you're doing all the things that you can to keep yourself in tip top shape. Um, Coming in, it was me and three other guys, freshmen, and I didn't play as much as I wanted to. But you come in with expectations, but you don't always meet those expectations. And I think it's hard to tell yourself that you didn't do what you wanted to do, but also knowing that you're a freshman, you have many more years to reach those goals is relieving. So I would say that I didn't reach my goals that I wanted to as a freshman, but I'm looking forward to the future. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. That's good. That's really good and all that. Hopefully next year, next season, you get a lot of PT and we get to see you more on the court because you show some flashes that we've seen. And yeah,
Yeah, I would say that I did get a lot better over the years, or over the year. Practice was big for me. Not playing much, you kind of get your reps within practice, so that's huge going into next year. And I think you'll definitely see a big leap from my freshman to sophomore year, and hopefully I can make some noise, make it to March Madness, so I can make a bracket and have Dartmouth going all the way.
and we're gonna go back a little bit back in time with this one. During your time at Sally's, how did it feel playing there, and what would practice feel like, and just how much you think you improved from of college?
Okay. Basketball at Sally's was some of the best basketball and most fun playing basketball that I've had. Um, I'm going to take it back a little further. AAU basketball, I feel like it's a necessity, but I've never been the biggest lover of AAU basketball, just the way it's played. Just a lot of one on one basketball and not so much structure. So I loved high school basketball because our team was really structured and we really played through our strengths. So I loved. Um, Sally's, great school. You would go right from classes ending at 3 to practice at 3:15 till like maybe 5. And practices were good. You would always start off, stretch, warm up, a little bit of bonding. We're playing around a little bit at the beginning of practice, and then we would jump right into it. Most of the times, do some type of shooting drill as a team to get us warmed up, get us running up and down the court a little bit. Maybe not full speed, but like at a speed to warm us up and get us ready for practice. And most of the times, we would end with a live segment, whether it's 4-on-4 shell or of like full like live 5-on-5 game going up and down. So Sally's practices were great. They were fun, always competitive. Um, just going at it with your guys like your best friends since freshman year. We didn't have many transfers at Sally's besides Robbie that I can think of, RJ Johnson, who's now going to play football at Rutgers. So besides him, like I've been with those guys since I was 14 years old. So it was great.
Yeah, definitely probably was a great experience, especially seeing y'all play last 4 years, going to the state championship for 3 years straight. That was impressive. And I honestly think your high school career at Sally's would never be forgotten.
Thank you, thank you.
For sure.
Yeah, it was special. Just being able to go all 3 years that I was on the team. For those of you who don't know, I was on JV my freshman year, and it was also COVID that year, 2020. So I wouldn't want to say that I missed a lot, but I think it was definitely impactful not making the team in freshman year. Similar to what I said about my freshman year this time, like things don't always go the way you want it to, and it's more so like how you grow from that. That like says a lot about you and like who you are as a person. So just being able to come back from not making it my freshman year and then going on to 3 state championships, only winning one, but just that experience is a great experience to have at such an early age.
Yeah, that's really, yeah. I definitely agree with what you said and all that, and definitely seen it once again. And yeah, but before we get to more questions, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video. Don't forget to follow Kareem too. It'll be linked in the bio. And with that being said, let's get to the other ones. So Kareem, how much do you think you improved from freshman year of high school to all the way up until now from college?
Um, I think freshman year of high school, I was way smaller than I am right now. Um, Freshman year, I was probably 5'10", 130 pounds. Right now, I'm 6'5", 185. So I definitely got taller, put on a lot of muscle. But mindset wise, I think I was a little timid when I was a freshman. Just new place, new school. You feel like this is like the first big step to making it to college basketball. And for some people it is, but in my case it wasn't. A lot of things happened after my freshman year that were way more important than the actual year that I had as a freshman, especially with COVID. So I was a lot more timid on the court. I was more so just catch and shoot, uh, fast break layups. That was really it. I didn't have many layers to my game. I was very one or two dimensional, as you might say. And then sophomore year, once I got moved up to varsity, it was more of the same uh, early going in the early going because I didn't play much at first. So in practice, I was just catching and shooting and just trying to get as many easy looks as I could for myself until I started my first game sophomore year. And from there on, it was kind of just like picking and choosing my spots, just trying to be as efficient as possible. And we got to the state championship that way. We did end up losing by a lot, which was kind of embarrassing, but I knew I had a couple more years, so it wasn't too bad. Um, Junior year, I started really working out a lot harder and like more intentionally. I got a new personal trainer, which is me, him, Coach Kerry Keinert, Isaiah Henson, Justin Hines, Zach Swartout, a lot of the Sally's guys, just all training together during the summer, just getting better. And right before my junior year, I got my first interest from Rider University, and that's when I really knew that like my dreams were like right there, like I could reach them almost. So it just pushed me to keep going harder. And by this time, I kind of developed my handle, could dribble the ball a little bit more, uh, create for myself. And then now all it is refining those tools that I gained over that summer between sophomore year and junior year.
Yeah. Definitely. Um, Seeing it from you every time, and yeah. Another thing I do want to know is who do you have winning in this year's March Madness, despite your team being out of it?
So I've been a fan of Duke since 2015, which is around the time that I like started taking basketball seriously because my first like head coach was like the biggest Duke fan, and he always had like the Duke Kyrie twos and the Duke Kyrie ones. So I picked Duke this year. I usually pick Duke every year, but this year I picked them really thinking that they could win it, not just because I've been a fan of them since I was younger. So I have Duke winning. I'm pretty sure they're gonna win. Analytically speaking, they're the best team, way better than Auburn, and I think it'll be Duke versus Florida.
Yeah, that's a good take right there. I definitely think, in my opinion, that it'll be Houston versus St. John's. I've seen St. John's play before. Their defense amazing. Watched them play against UD and a couple other teams. They're really good, despite playing in the not so good conference. And then Houston, I mean, I've been kind of a fan of Houston since what? Since COVID, after COVID, when I really started getting into basketball. Really, yeah. I definitely see Houston uh, winning it all, especially with the bunch of experience they have. So yeah, I see Houston.
Yeah, I like Houston a lot. I think I have them in my elite eight. They're a really good basketball team, like you said, really well defensive team, and they do have a lot of experience. Um, I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but their guard, I think his last name is Cryer. He's really good. And St. John's, uh, I don't know about them going to the championship. They are a really good defensive team, but I don't know. I just feel like they have some struggles shooting the three. And I feel like you're going to need that, especially if you're going up against other teams that are also defending at a high level. So I don't know about the St. John's pick, but I can see Houston maybe getting to the Elite Eight in the Final Four.
Definitely. And there is another thing that I do want to ask you too, and it is that since I know you watched a couple of Sally's games from what I've heard, how do you feel about this year's Sally's team, and what do you think they have to work on from what you're seeing this year?
Well, firstly, I want to say Sally's is a really well coached team, despite how the media, I would say, and like Delaware Online likes to portray Coach Taylor Trevison. He is a little animated at times, jumping up and down, getting a couple of texts here and there, but he really cares about the players. And I know that firsthand experience. He's done a lot for me, just trying to get me into college and making sure that I always have a place to work out. So, very well coached team. Uh, this season, when I came back for winter break, I went to see them play LaSalle. Uh, underwhelming, underwhelming performance and a tough loss for Sally's, but that's kind of what you expect from Sally's and what we see early on. The year that I won the state championship, I believe we started off 2-7 before coming back to Delaware play. So it's always kind of a rough, slow start, and usually pick it up towards the end, as we saw. Getting who did they beat in the tournament?
St. Mark's
St. Mark's, and then getting to
rivalry
the
game.
yeah, and then getting to the quarterfinals, I believe. So yeah, like it's pretty much the same story every year for Sally's. Tough start. They pick it up towards the end and try to make a playoff push, which was done this year. I think as a team, it's hard to rebuild when you have the team that we had in previous years. You know, me, Isaiah, Justin, Zach, Luke, James. We all have been together since freshman, sophomore year. So like we all grew together. We got better together, and we had a chemistry that was unmatched. And I think it's hard to kind of like press the reset button, and everybody expects you to go back to back to back all the time, but it's hard to do when you only have 4 years with a certain amount of guys. So I think Sally's will continue to be good in the future. This was just the year that they had to press the reset button.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. Some of those guys pretty much got recruited from other teams or whatever, and collaborate. And pretty much, if they build some team chemistry over the summer and all that for one more year, I definitely see this team as one of the more dangerous teams in the state, and could definitely see them going back to the Bob again.
I agree. A lot of the guys in the gym now, I've been back for a couple of days, and I'm seeing them in the gym working hard. So the chemistry is definitely going to be there. Losing RJ is a big hit, but I think we'll be able to bounce back and make some noise again. I'm always rooting for Sally's, and I always believe in them. So I think they'll do well.
And we probably gonna do the same thing too, man. For Dickinson, we definitely gonna have a whole rebuild and all that. Losing a bunch of guys. Pretty much, I think we're losing 7, 8 seniors. Yeah, we're losing a lot. So for Dickinson too, it's probably gonna be the same thing that Sally's went through this year, but I feel like it's gonna be a little bit worse. And not only that, we also going to probably have a bunch of big senior class too. We'll have a big senior class, if that. Again, just not really that much experience. That's it.
Yeah. Or is Dickinson losing their 1,000 point scorer? The kid that just scored 1,000.
Samir, yeah,
Okay.
he's going to be going. We're losing our big man, Jai, Isaiah, just everybody, man. Our point guard, 1 through 5. Some of our bench, including like 2 guys that were really big key players against St. Andrews, including Levitt Horsey, who knocked down that buzzer beater three. And yeah, we pretty much going into rebuild probably for next year or so or two. So I wouldn't be surprised if we even missed the playoffs at that, and that's something I'll probably like not even say, but yeah, 9 times out of 10 from what it looking like. But I'm gonna try to pick it up. Everybody else gonna try to pick it up, and we just gonna see how we do.
For sure. Everybody has to go through the rebuild. So it's really on the players. Like the coach can only do so much. So it's really on you and the rest of your guys and how you guys take it.
Definitely. And another, well, if not the last question, my favorite one. I know you haven't been here in a while though. Do you think that you could beat me in a 1v1?
I think I can beat you 1v1 on the basketball court, Oklahoma drill, on the football field. What else? Lacrosse, volleyball.
Okay,
I think I'm just a more athletic family member.
okay, I think you're
That's
dragging a little bit with the football lacrosse. Actually, maybe the 1v1, probably receiver DB because I ain't no DB. Oklahoma, that's kind of crazy because I was low key running people over.
I don't know. But if we're keeping it basketball, uh yeah, I think if you start with the ball, it's gonna be a steal turnover and then 11-0. If I
Oh,
start with the ball, you're not gonna touch it except for to check it back up with me. So
crazy,
yeah.
crazy. You must not know my handles now. I don't know
I don't know,
because I'm
man.
I'm newly improved, man.
That could
I've
be true.
Yeah, but you also did get better too, so
Yeah.
it could go either one or the other.
I will say that since the last time you played me, I'm a whole different player. Like what you've seen in high school is not what I am in college. I'm actually a completely different player. A lot less threes and running off of screens, and a lot more me being like a ball handler in the pick and roll. So
Mm.
I think I have a little bit better of a bag, a little bit more wiggle.
So more for like a big point guard role, kind of.
Maybe not point guard, more like combo guard. Just
Mm.
like not just our point guard at Dartmouth running off ball screens, like it would be me too. Yeah,
I can see that.
like Shea Gildas Alexander. If I had to compare myself,
Okay.
Nah, that's just my favorite player. I don't know. I don't know who I would compare myself to now, but a lot more ball dominant.
Okay. Oh yeah, and another thing I do want to ask you is how does being at Dartmouth feel like? How does like a day in life? Like give me a rundown.
All right. Uh, uh, so during the season, practices were a lot less strenuous. So I'm gonna go like preseason or like very early practices before we were playing like back to back games. So I had a class at 8:50. 8:50 was my first class. So I would have that class, and then I had a class right after that, 10:10, and then I only had two classes on Monday. So I would go to those two classes, eat, and then we would have a lift. Our lifts were usually an hour. Um, I want to say from like 2 to 3. Yeah, let's just say 2 to 3. So we lift for an hour, and then right after that was practice from 3 to like 6. But we would end up uh, ending it early, maybe like 5:45, and then after that we get dinner, and then go home and do homework. Most days it was just class, lift, practice, eat, homework. But days where we didn't have lift, I would try to work out by myself. So if that was my Monday, my Tuesday, I would only have one class, and it would go wake up, eat, work out after I eat for like an hour and a half, either by myself or with a coach, and then eat lunch, and then we would have practice maybe like 2.5, 3 hours after that. So we'd have practice, and then my Tuesday class was at 4:30, maybe 4:30. So right after practice, I would shower, head to class, and then after class, eat dinner, go back to the dorm, do homework, play the game. I bought the game over winter break, so playing a lot of UFC, NCAA, Fortnite, and yeah, just trying to pass the time.
I never knew you played I mean UFC.
Yeah, I just started. My older brother got me on it. I
Mm.
wasn't really much of a gamer in high school. I was really focused, just trying to make sure I was able to play D1. But now that I'm there, and now some days I have a little bit more time, I try to just like make sure I do something that's not work or basketball.
Yeah. And another question too is have you ever thought of going any higher than D1? Like going to like NBA overseas?
Yeah, I think every basketball player has, Um, when you're younger, you look up, you want to be Kobe Bryant, you want to be LeBron. In my case, I wanted to be Kevin Durant. So when I was younger, NBA was always the goal, shoot for the stars when you're a kid. And as I started to get older, I think I started to realize how, like, I always knew how hard it would be, but I guess more so like how unlikely it is. So yeah, just growing up and like kind of realizing that that's probably not going to happen, but never acting like it's not going to happen. Like you're always working your hardest and like striving for that, but that's not like the end all be all. So I would say that when I was younger, I really wanted to go to the NBA, really wanted to play for the Thunder, um, or the Sixers, stay close to home. Thunder or Sixers were always the goal. But now I think it's more likely and possible for me to play somewhere overseas. Uh, Still working as if I wanted to go to the NBA, but overseas somewhere would be nice. Probably like, I don't know, London. I don't know. I like the UK. I like their accents, so maybe London overseas.
Yeah.
Are you gonna cut all this out?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut this out.
Okay.
You cool.
Yeah. So yeah, probably London, and I don't know. It'd be nice to raise a family in London too. Just get older overseas. Got to get a passport, but yeah, London. How about you?
What my dreams are?
Yeah, NBA, NFL,
Uh,
sports analyst, like anything.
Mainly NFL, secondary sports analyst. That's why I started this for a reason. Start off with a little podcast, then go up one day, maybe like after college or whatever, become a sports analyst, be talking with other guys like Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, and all them. And if that don't work out, then I don't know. But NFL is mainly the goal. Been working on it for years now, even though I had a little, 5 years, 7 year stretch of not playing up until freshman year. So yeah, that was kind of a big hit, and I feel like I was a little bit behind. And coming back the football after like 7 years of not playing felt a little bit like tougher or whatever. Even though I was playing against like kind of like weak competition and didn't really play much freshman year, and then sophomore year just got better, and then junior year ended up having to switch positions. But I am going to go back to running back for my senior year, but still play defensive end because I was really good at it. But my main goal is to play in the NFL and be an NFL running back, and it's been like that since I was like 6. So yeah, but that's a great question though. That's a great question.
For sure, for sure.
And with that being said, y'all, thank you guys for enjoying this video. Kareem, thank you for being on here once again. And don't forget to follow his Instagram as of my Instagram too. And don't forget to follow the Barstool page. Link will be in the bio. And with that being said, thank you guys for enjoying. And we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.
See you.